My name is Vince Koehler from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm a member of Regnum Christi. As parents, we're called to lead our families in a way where we have a domestic church. Whenever I've heard that in the past, it's been difficult to hear, because there's been times at my house, if my house is anything like yours, where it feels like anything but a domestic church. And it feels daunting. It feels like, how am I ever going to reach that? You know, when I look around my house at times, the kids are drawn on the walls with permanent markers, and a couple of them might be in a skirmish pulling each other's hair. You know, there may be battles over who's going to get the last bit of cereal. And it doesn't feel like a domestic church at times, but what I found is a tremendous gift of the church that I discovered, and that has brought real happiness to my family. It's brought peace, and it's brought a family that really, where life is embedded with prayer, where life is embedded with selfless acts. And kids will be kids, you still have your fights, you still have your teenager pushing his limits, but overall, it's a very happy home. It's how God meant it to be, and I thank God for that. And when I think back to how we got there, it was there all along. The church has always been there. Daily Mass has always been there. The sacraments have always been there. But what happened with my family is that Regnum Christi helped us connect with the church. It helped us really embrace it, helped us understand it, helped us really fall in love with the church. Not just going to church out of an obedience, but really going to church because we love it, because we love the faith, and we want to see that brought to our children. And so a life of grace in a home is a wonderful thing. And I never thought we would experience anything like this, but I kind of stumbled into it, to be honest. It wasn't some great plan that my wife and I executed. It wasn't something that we knew we were doing along the way. But what Regnum Christi did is it gave us a path. It gave us a structure to where each of us, little by little, I fought it along the way, but little by little, prayer entered our life on a daily basis. And we came to look at things through God's will, not our own. I came to understand my vocation as a father. It was very different than my previous thought. My previous thought was my professional life was the big driver of whether I was happy or successful. But I started to understand my vocation as a father and what that meant. And it helped put things in order, helped put things in perspective. It brought peace. My wife and I don't know how this happened. I don't know the day it started happening, but we live life for each other. Every day, my wife and I live life. We think of what the other one needs first. And that is a grace, it's a gift. It's something that, you know, I thank God that He gave us all of the tools to embrace the sacraments, to bring our kids to the faith. And really the fruit of living Regnum Christi has been, the result has been what I see in my kids every day. They still draw on the walls and they still misbehave, but you see these just beautiful glimmers of sacrifice and selflessness. I was going to school the other day, and one of my daughters forgot their lunch, and it was a drama moment. It was crazy. She was very upset. And my teenage son, leaned back and handed her his lunch. And it's those little acts. It's kids that pray because it's innate. It's in them. It's part of them. It's kids that live for God's will. It's also kids that take their guinea pig on the trampoline in the backyard and jump and do crazy things, but they do it with a lot of joy. They even when they're misbehaving, their center is Christ. They understand their role is to help others. They understand their role is to get to heaven and to know Christ. And every day is a new battle. Every day is a new struggle, and we continue to try to build the domestic church in our home, and through God's grace, it happens. And I'm thankful for that, and the peace and happiness that I have in my family. I want to bring that to others. I want to make that available to other families. I want them to experience that. And I want my kids, most importantly, to see me do that.